Hello and welcome to this week's Emotional Healing Live. My name is Danielle. And as I thought about the topic that I want to share today, really what's in the front of my mind is my upcoming Art of Self-Acceptance course. This is the second time that I'm running it. So this was just in the front of my mind. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about acceptance again, self acceptance, because um, it's what I am always working on with myself. And as I often say, when I work with my clients and students, I see it as the most important work that they're doing as well, and the place where they often get stuck. Hello, Caitlin. This is really deep work, and it's something that takes a lot of patience and time, and it cannot be rushed because if you really look at yourself honestly, which is like the first step, right? Like if we're going to talk about self acceptance, the first step is you have to turn your awareness inward. You have to redirect your consciousness from always being focused on others, right? Because we're living in this world, we're very busy. We have many different relationships. We have roles that we play. We have work that we need to do. We have a whole world that's of people, right? Uh, Stimulating us constantly. I'm talking about news and world affairs. So it's really easy for us to constantly be focused outward, but we have to make the choice and the determination. I am going to stop looking at them, because in looking outward constantly, then we get into a loop where we cannot stop judging, blaming, criticizing others. And for self acceptance, we have to continuously, no matter what is going on outside, we have to have the power and strength and courage and willingness to look at me, to bring my awareness inward. How? Through feeling. We want to come out of thinking, judging, analyzing, blaming, and feel me at this moment. Feel me. So right away, that becomes a challenge. Hi, Patricia. Welcome. It becomes a challenge because oftentimes, well, it becomes a challenge for two reasons, I would say. One is if we're really, really focused outward, we're not familiar, we're not sensitized enough. So we don't know how to feel ourselves. We're like, feel myself, what? But that person, like, oh, I'm just upset. They blah, blah, blah. But you have to come back into the feeling, to the sensation. And sometimes those senses are numb or dulled if we've been outside, like focused not on myself for so long. So we have to wake up that inner sense. And that's not always easy. Why? Because there's uncomfortable sensations there that we're going to feel. No matter what, automatically, if there's anything we're upset about, whether that's others or myself, there's uncomfortable sensations. Even if I just strip it down to like just the bare bones, it's about uncomfortable sensations in my body that I don't want to feel. Because those uncomfortable sensations, they are like triggering stories, memories, meaning making, all the things that I'm talking about all the time. It was uncomfortable. I don't want to feel them. And it's an uncomfortable sensation in my body. It keeps triggering. And so lack of self-acceptance is, I don't want to feel that. So what do? I run away from that. I go outward again, or I try to numb that. I try to control that. I try to suppress that because I don't want to feel uncomfortable sensations. So a lot of self-acceptance is about becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable sensations and separating from the story that it tells me and just being with the sensation. Now, that can go deeper and deeper. My big interest here in focusing on self-acceptance is helping people with their self relationship, your relationship with yourself. That's what I've realized over my now 26, it's more years of my own healing journey, is it's all about repairing my relationship with myself. So those uncomfortable, hurting parts, I've been telling them for so long, right? I've been hating them or batting them away or resisting them, criticizing them, or I've been numbing them completely, quieting them, shushing them. Think about it. If it's a person and you do any or all of those things to another person, how's that person going to feel? That relationship is not going to be good. So it's like my relationship with myself needs repair. That's the big thing that I'm working on in the class, and helping people to awaken that inner sense, and even to start to go in and meet with those hurting parts. So for self-acceptance, we cannot be afraid of the hurting parts. Now, I've talked about this before, knowing where you're at and finding what is the right practice for you, because some of them are more gentle, they ease in more gently, they take the edge off, and they're not like deep diving into the hurting part. But ultimately, just as if there was a child hurting or a friend hurting or a dear loved one, we need to be able to hold space for that hurt and just be present with it in a safe, loving, unconditional kind of way, right? Think about yourself. Excuse me, 1 second. Think about yourself when you're hurting, how good that feels to just be seen and heard and held and understood and accepted, right? That's something we long for from others. We want acceptance from others because it feels good, and lack of acceptance from others hurts. Same with myself. Everything starts with me. So if you want to repair an external relationship, work with repairing yourself, the relationship with yourself. What's hurting inside of me? What needs to be held and loved and integrated? Self-acceptance is synonymous in many ways with self-love, self-forgiveness, self-embracing, right? Self-harmonizing, right? We're out of harmony with our hurting parts. So much so that this may resonate for you or it may not, because you may be so in your head, in your thoughts, in your mental space, or just looking outward, that you don't even know what this means to be in harmony with yourself. But as I was saying before, this is at the root. So when we want to solve our external relationships, we need to look at our relationship with ourselves. When we want to solve our relationship with our body, how we're relating to our pain, our physical pain, our health, we look at our self relationship. When we want to work with our relationship to the world, right? So if the things of the world are hurting us and upsetting us, we need to go in and see myself. There's parts being triggered. I've done a live before, those external things are messengers to bring us back inward and find what is being triggered here. What is hurting in me? Really, maybe I just need to be with my upset, my anger, my fear, my grief, whatever it is. Those parts of me need my love. So I don't think I'm saying anything new or different today. I'm just sort of reminding us about the self-acceptance journey. I really can't say it enough because I see so many people, including my own self, as I do my own deep inner work, how much we are rejecting ourselves. We're fighting with ourselves, our own feelings. We're resisting them. We're blaming them. We are in disharmony with ourselves, but wanting harmonious relationships with others and wanting a more harmonious world. But that's the work that we can do inside first. We need to understand how one comes into a place of harmony with themselves. It's not how we look. It's not how we think. It should look like just positive and when I'm just happy and now I just do this little exercise and all is well. No, we need a lot of time to care for our relationship with ourselves and all the parts that have been wanting our attention and needing our love. And they have something to, what can I say? Help us understand ourselves more deeply. They want to help us move towards deeper healing. They have their purpose, these parts. So we deepen our understanding of ourselves as we do self-acceptance work. We deepen our understanding then of others and our ability to have empathy and compassion for others. So this helps more than just ourselves. As we're having empathy and compassion with ourselves increase, it overflows to others. And the beauty of this is then we open up to not just self-acceptance, but a larger just acceptance, right? Like acceptance of life, of the kind of natural principles of life. We were able to let go and sort of surrender to that like river of life a little bit more with trust. So this opens us to a greater sense of our connection with the whole. It lets us be more present and in tune with the life inside of us. And it fosters a greater trust in this journey, this life journey that we're on. We can't experience those things when we're fighting with ourselves and not accepting ourselves. And all the different thoughts and emotions and memories and stories and beliefs are bumping and entangled. And we can't really surrender to that larger river of life that is holding us and carrying us and guiding us. And so we suffer more when we're in a lack of acceptance, big, or a lack of self-acceptance, that's obvious. We suffer a lot more. I'm so glad to hear that this is resonating with you, Patricia. Thank you for sharing. Yes, and if you have any questions about what I'm talking about here, let me know. I will just take this moment to post a link for anyone who might be interested in the course. It begins the next round. It's just a 6-week course, and it may change in the future. So if you're interested in tasting it or trying it, this is just a 6-week commitment, 1.5 hours per week. We meet on Thursday. So again, I'm recording this video in January of 2026, and this is its current form. But there, my job is to really guide people to enter into their inner world and have this time with themselves in a space that feels comfortable and safe for them, going into the uncomfortable and difficult parts in order to integrate, in order to heal our relationship with those parts. And I can tell you honestly, that work has been so powerful and beautiful for me, because I didn't realize how much I was the one abandoning those parts, and they need me. So I think we don't realize when we're fragmented, we just struggle. But as we kind of embrace the fragments and the parts, we come back to wholeness, it really creates a very big shift in our own maturity, our sense of peace. It creates a shift in, again, like I said, our understanding and compassion for others as well as self. It allows us to feel more at ease with ourselves instead of in conflict, in stress, in fragmentation. So that is the work that I feel is so important for every single aspect of our being: body, mind, emotion, spirit, people, relationships, the world. Yeah, there is the possibility within us to be our most, I want to use the word biggest, wisest, most compassionate and loving selves. But we can't, it's very hard to access that self if we have these fragments that we're not accepting. And we don't even realize how much we're running through our days trying to just sort of get away from painful things. I have had number of clients who realize everything I do is to get away from this feeling. And that's a huge aha moment, because now I can start to shift habits naturally, because there's an illumination now, there's an awareness, there's a light shining on that. I can see it more clearly. I can see it when I'm doing it. And then I can remember, I don't have to do that anymore, because now I'm repairing my relationship with that part. Most of our parts just want to be seen and heard and validated by us. And this is how as we do that work, we just naturally move into a deeper state of acceptance which becomes a deeper state of love and forgiveness. So my sort of character is that I really like to get to the root, and I will always share like as whatever when I'm exploring a root, whatever I feel that root is. And I do my best to invite people to go in and explore that themselves, because I cannot heal you. I cannot integrate you. I cannot harmonize you for you. That's not the kind of work that I do. I know there are some healers who maybe they can help heal something for you. That's not me. My work is in guiding you towards doing that for yourself, so that it will be like a deep change in your relationship with yourself, a deep shift, and you walk away with something that no one can take away from you, because it's yours. And you just, as I said at the very beginning of this conversation, you just continue that journey, because it's actually a long journey that requires a lot of patience and self-forgiveness and love and gentleness and kindness towards ourselves. So it's not a one and done, but I can guide you in a direction that perhaps you feel is a more healthy direction for you, a healthier direction, a direction that allows you to have a healthier relationship with yourself and your feelings. And you get to see how that impacts everything around you. Okay, Patricia, I thought I was the only one that does this, run away from myself and things. This work is hard sometimes, Danielle, but I guess nothing worth it is easy. Yes, it is hard. It is hard work sometimes, because we don't like pain. And then the current like societal conditioning, for lack of better words, is to try to get away from pain as much as possible. Do this, take this, make it go away, make it go away, make it go away. So that has weakened, I want to say, that is to some degree like weakened our ability to be courageous with our feelings. We don't need to numb them and hide from them. We want to build and strengthen the muscle of facing them. It's just like strengthening a muscle. I need to work on that physical strengthening more than anything else. I've been working on strengthening this inner awareness muscle for most of my life. But I see how it works. You have to work hard to strengthen a muscle. We have to work hard to strengthen that muscle and to, undo that conditioning that everything is supposed to feel good and, take this and fix it and that way and better and lighter. It's not really the human journey. The human journey is that we can hold all of it, right? There's beauty and there's pain. There are many wonderful feelings. And sometimes there's also uncomfortable feelings. There's struggle. This is life. To be able to hold it all and not be in reaction, right? So reactivity is sort of the opposite of self-acceptance. When we're not accepting, that's when we're in reaction. And when we're in reaction, everything gets more chaotic and more difficult for us, actually. I also have clients who, it's like, why is this so hard? Why is this so hard? because life gets messier and messier the more we're in reaction to it. And the more we accept, things start to calm down. Things start to shift. Whenever I'm having like a lot of like a bad day or something, I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. How's my mind today? What am I fighting with inside? What am I not accepting? Because I need to calm my own inner vibration so that I can invite more peace and calming vibrations to me. And it's really real, and it really works exactly that way as far as I see as I live my life. I experience it all the time. Yes, I have to constantly wait. Yes, I have to constantly tell myself to be gentle and kind to myself. Yes, Patricia. Yes. I think I've heard you say that before, and that is great advice for yourself. That is true. Amy, very helpful reminders. Thank you for your wisdom. You are welcome. This is an integration process, so we integrate little by little. So I really hope that each time you listen, even if you hear the same thing over and over again, you can check yourself and check your current relationship with that. Or maybe you'll forget about it, but you'll be going along through life and maybe you'll meet a stumbling block or a struggling point, and then you'll realize, oh, I have to turn towards myself. There's something inside of me that's not accepting, that's fighting, that's resisting. At that time, relax, breathe, allow yourself to feel the uncomfortable feeling. It's also why I offer the class, and why I think kind of continuous training and guidance and practice is the best word here, is so helpful, is because a lot of times it will be hard to stay with the uncomfortable sensation because we won't really be with the sensation. We're like unconsciously listening to the story and reacting. And so it takes time to awaken these senses and realize, oh, that's what I was doing. And we're like training our inner senses. Is there a daily practice you would recommend to strengthen that muscle? EFT. EFT is very good. EFT is very good for taking the edge off, bringing your awareness towards yourself, calming the nervous system. The tapping can help give you strength and courage to allow yourself to be with the sensations. That's the only daily practice I would recommend. So give yourself time to be with the sensations until that starts to become a habit for you in day-to-day living. So I talked last week about quiet time. You can take your quiet time and just feel the sensations inside your body. You can do EFT. Any caution I have with EFT is don't get too fixated on the outside, the person who's guiding, what they're saying, that I have to keep up with those words. Thinking about, is that what I want to say? Is that, I like kind of just spewing all your thoughts and not like being in the sensation. You want to make sure that you're having a deep conversation with yourself in the feeling, in the sensation when you're doing EFT, if you want to practice what I'm talking about here. So some may do it in meditation, quiet time, going for a walk. Ideally, we want to develop that sense and strengthen that habit too. So then when we're struggling, we pause, we drop the thought, drop the story, and be present with the sensation. And that's where some integrating is starting to happen. If you're stuck somewhere and you need more guidance, well then you can look for a guide. or you can just continue doing that work by yourself and getting the feeling of being with the sensation unconditionally, without judging about it, without judging outside, without listening to the story. You're just being with the sensation, being with it. It's like you're just sitting there and being with and giving attention to that hurting part of you. You're being a loving presence and space holder for that hurting part of you when maybe you never were. Maybe you have your whole life not taken time to do that without even realizing it. You were just like, go away, go away, go away to that part without even realizing it. So being present. It's not always easy, and it's also not always comfortable. As we practice more and more, it starts to shift, starts to open. Some open and shift more easily than others. Some parts, or we can call them layers, are very, very deep and old, and they take longer. So we need to, again, be accepting and patient with that. These things grow as we practice. So I won't lead an EFT tapping session today just because I'm talking about something a little bit different from EFT, also in the world of emotional healing. Does anybody else have any other questions about the subject of, I'm looking at my notes as I'm talking here, the subject of acceptance, self-acceptance, repairing your relationship with yourself? That's what I really want to say. When I talk about healing, I want you and me and everyone to work on, to be recommitted to healing our relationship with ourselves first. It's so important. In fact, it affects so many things. It affects everything. Okay, I don't see any questions arising. I will put a little announcement about this course again in my email that goes out tomorrow. You're welcome to reply to that if you have more specific questions about the class. Otherwise, good luck, everyone, on your journey, and I will see you next time. Okay, thank you. Have a good day. Oh, I see something. When that voice, okay, I'm not leaving yet. I see a comment. When that voice in your head is negative, what do you suggest we do? Simple tip is breathe out, relax. Allow yourself to kind of imagine you're like holding on to the voice. Just let it be up there, and you're going to let go and sink down into the sensation in your body. What is the sensation in my body right now while I have this negative voice? So you got to breathe out, relax. Allow yourself to sink into just the sensation, just the sensation. That's all I'm saying here. Feel okay. Your shoulders are tight. Okay, just breathe with that and be with that. That's going to allow you to shift your awareness from listening to that negative voice to just being present. You know, I often say the body is in the present moment. So you come down and you align, you get into the sensation of your body. Now you're more present, just being with your body, just being with it. You may start to have like aha moments. You may find that the discomfort shifts. You may notice, oh, the thoughts went away. What I would love most of all for you to notice is the thoughts are still there, and I can grab onto them if I want, but I can also leave them there and I can come here. I have some controllability. That's, I think the beginning of my interest in doing emotional healing work is letting people know they don't have to just be a victim to their habits, like just a constant in reaction mode, but we have some controllability. We have some choosability. I think that I maybe just made that word up. We have the ability to become conscious and choose consciously, which feels so much better. So I hope that helps you, Patricia. And I'm going to conclude now. And thank you all for coming today. And I hope to see you next time. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.